It's Most Things Kenobi, an elegant podcast for a more civilized fandom.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Leanne.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And this episode is all about the third of 4 installments of the Return to Geonosis arc on in the Clone Wars. And this one, we're going underground.
Thank God, because it is 105 degrees here and 100% humidity. So I'm ready to go underground. I feel like we live 5 miles from the sun here right now. Please take me underground to a cave, please.
With Obi-Wan and Anakin and the clones. Yeah.
I don't think it gets better than that, except for the bugs and the zombies.
It's true. This episode is called Legacy of Terror, but according to Lauren, she's already living it. So,
honestly, Legacy of Terror is accurate. It's terrifying.
It is. It really is. Humidity is the worst thing ever.
Oh, I meant the episode.
Yeah.
I was talking about Clone Wars, but yes, it's true.
Yes. Well,
Midwestern summer is a legacy of terror.
It really is, because it always returns, makes itself known.
And if it's not a drought or 500 degrees, there's tornadoes, and, you know, it doesn't get much scarier than that, so.
False. You don't have worms crawling up your nose.
True. But if you just drive about an hour out into farm country, it could happen. I speak from experience where I went to college.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. I've never seen bigger worms in my life.
Oh my God.
I don't know how we got so sidetracked. I'm sorry.
I was just trying to introduce the episode.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it. This episode is about worms, and we're going underground, and that's what started this whole thing.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Please don't be. Where do we even start now?
I have a question. So the fortune cookie for this episode is, sometimes accepting help is harder than offering it. Feels unrelated. Gotta say.
Well, is it from the point of view of Luminara? Because she's technically being helped, and yet...
I guess, yeah.
Maybe?
It's really, I don't know, oblique. It's just doesn't, it barely seems related, considering this is all about, you know, a hive mind and zombies.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of it peripherally. Like, usually they're more pointed than that. You know, a little bit more specific. Can you read it again?
Sometimes accepting help is harder than offering it.
Accepting help is harder than offering it. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, the whole episode, Luminara is rejecting help or advice from everybody. Everybody's trying to give her their 2 cents. And she seems very stubborn. Yes. But that's no different than anybody else in Star Wars. Literally, that's Anakin true. Is like, we have to do something. And everyone else in the room is like, no, Anakin, we have to wait until the storm is over. So it's not just her, I guess. But
that's very true. I don't consider her the focal point of this episode either.
No, it's very split, to be honest. Which is nice, because it's some of the greatest Obi-Wan Anakin interactions ever.
I couldn't agree more. But there's also a focus on the clones and the trusting of each other, and kind of this. There's also the Queen Bug,
Yeah.
She's kind of a focal point, and they're not helping her. So
No, they're not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, the thing that really struck me about her is that she is such a good Jedi, or at least she's portrayed that way, but she's extremely stubborn, and right from the beginning, she tells Obi-Wan, like, no, I'm going to go do this, but, she tries to keep it light and says, like, leave some strategic planning for me, or I'd hate to feel left out. But
sure,
she does seem like this really, especially after the last episode we recorded about Weapons Factory, and how quick she was to write off Barriss and Ahsoka. And now she's going off into the wilderness by herself with one clone trooper. She ignores Anakin's warning about a sandstorm. It kind of feels a little like she's quick to dismiss life.
Yeah. Yes.
And not just her own, but she's willing to risk everyone around her. I don't know, is that too harsh of me to say? But it was really kind of sticking out to me this time.
No, it's not too harsh. I mean, there's a reason, there's an undercurrent why I've never really liked her or never took a strong liking to her. And it's because of her, she's kind of like off-putting. She is in her own world kind of a lot. And she has that right. I mean, that's her leadership style, I guess, and she's not going to take it. I mean, if I was the clone that went with her, I'd be upset. Like, why not? Why are we disregarding the weather forecast?
I was excited to talk to you about this.
Do you know what a dust storm's official name is?
Yes.
A haboob.
Just a little bit weird.
It is.
Do you know where that came from?
I don't. I should, but I don't.
Have you ever been in one?
No, but my coworker, who is originally from Phoenix, is in them all the time.
Yeah, because that's where I was in them, was in Arizona. And I guess I drove through one in Nevada as well, because on the way to
They're literally
Vegas.
nothing to with. You do not with them. You pull over and you wait till it's over. Luminara.
Like, it will take the paint right off your car. So what do you think it will do to your skin?
Isn't she on a speeder?
She is.
Get the hell out of here.
At least he's got, body armor. She's got nothing. So that's just not realistic at all.
She could do like a force dome over her, I guess.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
there are easier ways to get from point A to point B in the desert during a dust storm. And that's A, don't go, and B, don't bring a speeder.
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan's saying the ships can't handle it, and she's out there on a little motorcycle. Yeah.
No problem for the engines.
It would fill the engines with and you wouldn't be able to drive at all. Like, I've seen one. It's amazing to see them in the desert because I was up on a mountain pass driving down into Phoenix, and you can see it coming.
Yeah, it's like a giant bubbly wall.
It's nuts.
It's like fingers almost.
Yes. It's really cool. It's very cool. It's like a wall coming at you of just, you're like, is the world ending? It looks like it might be.
Well, Luminara didn't think so. So she went.
Yeah.
Kudos to my boy Anakin for trying to give her the forecast and tell her to take heed. And she didn't.
He did his best.
But
But again, she just had to ignore everybody's advice. But
well, it's no wonder she ended up strung up down in the basement there, and I guess the most subtle way that Obi-Wan could, he wanted to run an experiment on her. Again, my favorite scene of Obi-Wan, my favorite back and forth of him and Anakin. The clones represent well in this episode, and not only that, it's spooky as and the lighting, like when they're looking around, right?
Yeah.
And you can't see where the bugs are, and I hate that.
It's true. It's like they really play on the whole childhood feeling of being afraid of the dark, because the thing that's scary is just out of sight. And even though they don't really show it, at least not at first, eventually they do show them like all up on the ceiling and everything.
I hate that
terrifying. But to begin with, there's nothing. There's just the texture of the walls, which is creepy in and of itself.
It is creepy.
And then their little darting headlamps, so you can't really see anything. It's a very good psychological use of negative space.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lighting is something that's always stuck with me in that episode because it's not something you really get from animation, but it's done really well in this episode to the point where I'm always creeped out. It doesn't matter how many times I watch it. I always get that crawly skin sensation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Multiple times. Yeah, there's a bunch of shots where it's so creepy. There's even one shot that I never noticed before.
Oh, what is it?
It's when Luminara is trying to fight back when they're kind of like dragging her through the tunnel and she wakes up all of a sudden. She looks up and all you see are eyes glowing in the darkness as they move forward, and then the bugs appear like around these glowing eyes. And I was like, that's creepy. It's so creepy, but it's really beautifully done.
It's really well done. Like when I always wonder the process of how they made that happen. Like, how do they sit around and think like, we need more shadow, or we need more eyeballs only, you know, we need more the chattering, the clacking sound of their wings.
Yes. Like, it's so creepy.
Oh,
it's the great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to do a lot of horror techniques, and they use quite a few. They have, high tension lighting. They have the people vanishing off screen.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
They have hive mind, Walking Dead. They have not being able to kill the enemy, like no matter what they do. It's like all these great horror elements.
And they have to make decisions on the spot because they're dealing with like a species, And when they don't die right away, it presents a new problem.
Which luckily Anakin figures out a good technique for dealing with it, but
go figure.
It felt a little helpless there for a little while in the earlier part of the episode when...
And meanwhile, Obi-Wan has his little mental notebook and mental pencil. Do you defend him wanting to take a sample back or not? How do we feel about the sample? Was he wasting their time? Was he a little off track? Was he a little sidetracked? You know what I mean? Or did he have a point?
Like, I get why he would want to, but I also feel like this is a nod to Alien and, like, the Alien franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's kind of cool because the original Alien by Ridley Scott is it was inspired by Star Wars. Like, when Ridley Scott saw Star Wars, he was like, holy shit, I want to do something like that, but scary.
Mission accomplished.
Ugh. Yeah, and like when he came back to it in Prometheus, I feel like there's stuff actually very similar to this episode in that. Although, I have to admit, I haven't seen all of the Alien movies, but there are scenes of like, first of all, like not taking samples back because it's actually dangerous. There's all this stuff in sci-fi where you find a species or you take a sample, you bring it back to Earth, and it becomes this plague or chimera that like takes over and can kill all mankind, which is an actual fear and a concern of astrobiologists.
I believe that because we don't know. We know what it's like in their situation, in their
environment.
Circumstances. Yeah, but if you put it in a new environment, we don't know what it's going to do.
Because chemistry is a thing, and when
it is.
I mean, one of the weirdest, coolest things ever was when I went to the astrobiology conference held by NASA here in Chicago, and
I'm jealous.
It was awesome. I was so glad I got to go, and I learned so much. And part of what makes astrobiology interesting but dangerous is that microbes interact with air and water, and the minute that you scoop up a sample, you are introducing microbes from Earth, even if you've sent it through like a autoclave or something like that to sterilize. You still can't guarantee that you are sterile. So you can be creating a super bug or a super dangerous scenario by taking samples back, and I do feel like it was an unnecessary risk from Obi-Wan to grab it even with his hands. I'd be like, that shit. No, thank you.
This is the Jedi who hates Geonosis.
True. When he's taking like this hive mind parasite back.
Suddenly he found himself a souvenir that he'd like to bring back with him. It's like, sir, think a little bit. But I get it. I'm like you. He had an opportunity. He's curious by nature. What could we learn from such a thing, etc. Yes.
I'm in Anakin's camp of, he's like, study the bottom of my boot. Yes.
Yes.
Get the out. No, thank you.
I always take time during these moments when it's Anakin and Obi-Wan being the old married couple that we usually refer to them as. And I think, this is Darth Vader. You know what I mean? Do you ever just pause and think like, this is that guy? The guy in Rogue One who's just slaying folks left and right in the hallway?
I forget sometimes when he's like this. I forget that about him. Yeah.
That's why it's so phenomenal. But like, it's hard for me to think like, study the bottom of my boot and slicing people in half on the ceiling. There's a very wide gap between the two.
Yeah. How do we?
We get there. It just, in this point, in this episode, I have a hard time seeing it. But, you know.
Yeah. There's something really special, though, about both Matt and James's performance in this episode in particular.
They must have had a ball, honestly. Because you can hear it. They're jovial almost.
Well, and like, there's something special, too, about James finally pitches his voice down a little bit in this one.
True. Yeah.
Which he even said, like, season 1, he was trying to, emulate Ewan McGregor a little bit more. And by this point, Dave Filoni would say, no, not, like, how would you do it? Mm-hmm. Not how would Ewan do it? And so you can hear his voice drop down a little deeper in this episode, which I really love because he's getting to say really different and interesting lines about Obi-Wan actually says the word zombies.
Yes.
Which I never would have thought I would hear that.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
down in the basement of Geonosis.
It's so really bizarre, but
it's really it's really full circle from where we're at in Attack of the Clones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones, and then Obi-Wan here in the basement, with Anakin and the boys, just trying to save Luminara. It's really something. And Luminara was also in Attack of the Clones in that fight. Yeah, they actually showed live action Luminara. Yeah,
I think that's where she was first introduced.
I think so.
Yeah,
and this is like OG Geonosis crew, so it's kind of cute if you keep that in mind, and they're all like, the gang's all back. So,
Yeah, I guess Cody's there, which he was not in Attack of the Clones. Which it's kind of interesting. It's Cody in this episode instead of Rex.
I'm glad though, because
I
think it would have been too messy with Rex. Now, God bless Rex. We love him for everything that he is, but we need the stability of Cody.
It's true.
When we have Obi-Wan and Anakin bickering.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that, because in Landing at Point Rain, Anakin and Ahsoka are bickering, and Rex, you can just feel the tension in Rex.
Yes.
Like, could we just get on with it? And then this is different. It's the Anakin Obi-Wan bickering. Cody's just having none of it. He's just always ready. He's always like in kill mode.
Mm-hmm.
I love
What's
that
the common denominator here? Anakin. You think with your lightsaber, right? It's not. That's not code for something either.
It's not. It's actual. Like he means it literally.
Yeah, he really means it in the literal sense. Like he's in kill mode. Which does track with Darth Vader.
That's true. He is always just kind of ready to jump in with action. And I do love that they take a moment in this episode for Obi-Wan to be more of... I hate to use the term diplomatic because, like, what he's doing here is actually gross colonialism. And
it is, though. It really is. That's a good point. Yeah.
And it struck me a lot because I've been listening to a history podcast lately, and it's all been about this colonial era in British history and how, like, super gross it is. And this has that flavor to it. Honestly, not just British. There's also discussion about, like, Spanish colonialism as well in South America. And it's like you show up at someone else's house and say, you are no longer queen of the bugs, and now you must submit to Republic law. And something about that has always gotten under my skin. 'Cause, okay, yeah, so she is telling Poggle what to do, and they're working with the Separatists, so that's, like, the only way I can excuse it. But
yeah,
there this culture that exists already, and now you're telling them that they have to do what you say just because you say so.
Not only that, they are a non-human, like, not even humanoid species, which I have a hard time with as well, because first of all, like, colonization in and of itself is a difficult topic because it never goes well. Like, never. Not
right.
I mean, it happens, but it never usually goes well for the
Someone
party.
is always brutalized into it.
Yeah. But then if you add an animal element, which I struggle with because, not that bugs are animals, but you know what I mean? It's not human.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when you take into consideration, like, a species that isn't human or humanoid, they are already coming from a vulnerable position. Like, they have far less say in the matter because they don't speak the same as you. They don't act the same as you. You know what I mean? We're not the same breed.
Because humans will always come at it with a superiority complex.
Right. And more often than not, humans, at least in an earthly sense, humans can overpower an animal. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it's kind of the same thing. We got clones, we got weapons, we have this, that, the other thing. Now, the bugs have weapons. They have troops. But it's obviously intellect versus, like, the intellect of Obi-Wan, Anakin, Jedi clones versus this, what appears to be a more basic form of living. You know, that's, like, we'll say the Europeans coming over and then just mowing down the Native Americans because they had a more, quote, primitive, and it wasn't, but compared to, like, the weapon, which is a gun, versus the weapon of a bow and arrow, one is going to win.
Right, they used...
I hate it.
It's what Star Wars talks about in Return of the Jedi, the technological, quote-unquote, superiority over the... Like, the Ewoks was a great example. Yep. Yeah, and even that interaction of, like, Han with the Ewoks, assuming that they were less than, and they turned out to save his ass.
Exactly.
You know? So it's, like, not giving that culture the benefit of the doubt of...
Exactly.
Like, maybe they're fine the way they are, you know?
Maybe we don't need to come in and just... kill them all.
Yeah, and then tell them how to live, the ones that are left.
Yeah.
I mean, this queen is ancient. They refer to her as an ancient being. And her name, she actually has a name, which I didn't know. I have it here. I took a note of it because I was like, wow, I didn't know she had a name. Her name is Queen Karina the Great. And she is voiced by D. Bradley Baker, just in case.
Oh! D. Bradley Baker is the voice of the Queen? I never knew that.
Yeah, he does. And, like, I don't think they do much to change his voice. I think that's him, like, doing all the vibrations and everything that she has.
These voice actors and actresses, I can't.
I know.
I don't know why I'm even surprised. He's so good as it is, but... So, she has a fabulous name.
Yes.
Karina the Great?
Karina the Great, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a shame.
Yeah. Leave her on her giant throne to be the big, disgusting bug that she is.
It's so gross.
It really is gross. It's so gross. And she's, like, laying her little eggs. I just hate it so much.
I don't do larva very well. In any...
Just vomited on myself.
That was very lifelike.
I could do better, but I won't because...
Oh, no, you did just fine.
Can we talk about something real quick that's like cinematography adjacent?
Oh, I love when you get cinematograph. What? Cinematographic? Cinematographic? I'm not going to try. Yes, go ahead. Talk about it. Please.
They use this in other episodes, but this is a great example of, God, I'm going to butcher this. The chiaroscuro, the technique.
Okay.
It's like an Italian painting technique that was invented actually by Leonardo da Vinci, of all people.
Of course.
And it was during his painting, the Adoration of the Magi from 1481. Started using this technique where he uses negative space. So it's a lot of black and highlight. So like a lot of high contrast. And it created like a three-dimensionalism. And so it was like kind of invented during the Renaissance, but it was really used during the Baroque period by like Caravaggio and Rembrandt and Vermeer, actually. Like Rembrandt and Caravaggio had a tendency to use it in a way that was like heightened tension. So if you look up their paintings, you'll see a lot of motion that is deeply emotional and very high intensity. But like Vermeer was a Dutch painter, and his are emotional, but in a more sedate way. And I love his paintings. They're gorgeous. But there's so much black space used in this episode. And then high contrast, like on the faces, or just like using the headlamps. And it has this Baroque tendency in the cinematography, which I just love because Dave Filoni, I've read, but I can't find this anywhere. I know I've heard this, that he studied like Baroque paintings in college and like Caravaggio in particular.
We've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it now that we have talked about it in the past, but I just love the depth that it creates because so much of like it's a sci-fi. So much of sci-fi, especially from like the 1950s, will have this flat, flashy kind of look to it. And this is a good opportunity because it has this horror element to incorporate a lot of this negative space, which you see in like Alien is a great example. There's a lot of it filmed in darkness and like light will like flash on and scare the shit out of you. You'll realize there's something terrifying right there. But I loved it. This episode to me looks like Baroque painting, especially right when they're down in the throne room and Obi-Wan, Anakin, and not Rex, Cody appear like all in a line, which is the part that our Obi-Wan logo is based on. Yes. It's the screenshot that our logo is a painting from.
So cool.
And it was an actual piece of art that then we had turned into digital art, so it's just been reinvented a few times. But
so are we the legacy of terror?
I think so. It might be
in some way. But no, you bring up excellent points. I just think it's a great use of very timeless traditional art to bring more art in new forms, new media forms to the people.
Yeah. And it is used in all media format now. It's not just a painting technique. It's photography and videography and all of that. And now animation. And I think it's really cool because they could choose to make things flat and easy. And Clone Wars never did that. They always choose something that's more dynamic and beautiful because George Lucas wanted that himself. He wants to push the envelope. And all animation before that was really quite, well, I mean, and they said it was two-dimensional versus the 3D show. You know, this is 3D animation. Yeah. But they go beyond that. You know, they don't just make it three-dimensional. They make it beautiful on purpose. That's what sets the show apart.
I think it's really effective in a way that it engages someone visually, even if there's no dialogue, there's no big battle, there's no big anything going on, but you're still watching, you're paying attention, you're in it. And I think that's more difficult to do with animation because there isn't a living human, there isn't a living being with the subtleties of their facial movements or the way they're breathing, or, you know what I mean? Just the actual live actionness of it all. So I think it's fantastic, and it makes the show way more engaging for a viewer. Yeah.
And it's also part of why we can watch it over and over. And it holds up and it doesn't get boring.
And oftentimes I sit there thinking, like, this is beautiful. It's terrifying, but it's beautiful.
It's true. I mean, there's so many shots you could pull out and say, like, this looks like a painting, that looks like a painting, just the standalone screenshots. So,
well, the actual shot of Obi-Wan studying, like, you know, come now, Anakin, will it go up the nose or in the mouth or whatever he says?
Yes.
And it's like their profiles and their slight height difference and the actual, like, disbelief on Anakin's face versus the absolute curiosity that's seething from Obi-Wan. You know, he's like unfazed by the fact that they're underground in these creepy tunnels with this ancient bug queen, you know, zombies everywhere. Luminara's not very happy. I don't know. And he's just like, this is nothing. You should see the other guy. But, like, you know, he just doesn't faze him. He's been through too much shit.
It's kind of awesome that he's such a badass.
It is, yeah. Very much. Although, to give Luminara some credit, I would have been way more afraid, scared, creeped out. I would have been protesting more, you know, violently, if you will, about something crawling up my nose. But she is a Jedi, and she is duty driven. So I give her kudos for just rolling with the punches, because no thank you.
That's true. You would have seen me in my worst meltdown phase that I have. Like, set your phase gun to highest level possible. Yeah.
It's a really effective manner of creeping people out, is by having anything go up someone's nose. And then, of course, there's the next episode.
I was just going to say, it's going to ramp up in the next episode. So gross, but yay. All right. Join us back next time for more gross, like it's way grosser. It's going to go up noses. And it's going to be disgusting for Brain Invaders, which I think is the last episode in this arc.
It is.
So
it is.
We will move on to something else after that, but for now, one more Geonosian episode with bugs up your nose. So come back next time for that.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Most Things Kenobi podcast. If you would like to support the podcast by becoming a patron, head over to the Most Things Kenobi Patreon. You can also interact with us on our social media platforms, such as Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you enjoy our podcast, feel free to rate us on Spotify and Apple. And if you need just one place to find all of these, head over to mostthingskenobi.com.
So until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.